It turns out that so it turns out the vasovagal reaction. It was a vasovagal reaction that caused the accident. They also suspected that they also took my blood and stuff, and they said that I was very dehydrated and hungry, and so they made a conclusion it was all of that, as it turns out, that caused the accident. So right after that, we went to KFC, and we got some water and some chicken wings or whatever it was, and we just kind of Gabriel and I and my dad were just sitting there chatting, and and so after we finished with our KFC, we went back to the truck to figure out kind of what was going on, and to get an update on that front. And we got there, and the guy at the storage lot was really cool. I mean, he saw my CB radio in there, and he's like, "Yeah, if you don't take that in the next 5 minutes or next 2 minutes, I'm taking it." And I'm like, "Just take it, go for it." And so anyway, but so we go through it, and at this point, I'm still just looking at this, going, "This is not me. I didn't do this. How the hell did this happen?" It still wasn't registering in my mind that we had gotten into this accident. And so we got our stuff out of the truck, and we emptied it out, and big trash bags, put it in my dad's car. Got into this, went into this, and we we um we emptied the truck out, and we left, and and I'm still just sitting here trying to register what exactly had happened, because I still didn't believe that I'd gotten into this accident. It still didn't register in my mind. This was a bad accident, so it's taking me a while to actually sink in the fact that we got into this. Well, we stuff floating around up there. Is it snowing? Oh, it almost looks like there's a little white fuzz in the air. I thought there was snow for a second. Weird. Anyway, um, so I know this video is almost 30 minutes long, 29 minutes. So we what was I gonna say? So after that, we went back to the house I was living in Valley Center, and we just basically relaxed. And my dad went home, and so Gabriel and I just basically relaxed. I think we ordered dinner that night and had them bring it or something. I can't remember. But then I called insurance, and they filed the claim, and we filed the claim, and we had them. They took the truck, and they took it down to the border between California and Mexico. That area that they took it's called Otay Mesa, for those of you that are familiar. And they took it to a place called. Like, if I find it, then I'll put it in an Annunciation. Make sure those of you guys that turn the Annunciations off, make sure you have them on, because I use Annunciations in a lot of my videos. If I remember what the name of the place that did the appraisal was, I'll put that in the Annunciation. And so my insurance company did their appraisal, and they basically got to a point in the truck where they said, "Forget it. It's a complete loss. Move on. Push it out of here." And so I was on the phone with insurance, and they estimated it was going to be about $35,000 to repair, 38,000. I can't remember. But the thing that you need to realize is they got to a certain point and said, "I'm done." So they really didn't do a complete appraisal in the sense of everything that needs to be fixed. So it really, from that, I wasn't able to tell exactly what needed to be fixed. And so they had offered me two choices, because at this point the truck was paid for. And so they offered me two choices. They said, "I can write you a check if we keep the truck, and it'll be for X amount, or for about $6,000 less, I can write you a check, and you can keep the truck. If you keep the truck, it'll be for this amount," which was about 6,000 less than if they kept the truck, because they were going to auction it off or part it out. Obviously, you guys can tell what I did. I kept the truck, and so I took the lesser amount. And I took the truck. Then shortly thereafter, contacted a body shop, and they told me over the phone that they didn't think it was worth repairing. And I said, "Okay, but would you guys at least be willing to provide me a written estimate as far as what it's going to cost to repair it?" And they said, "Sure. Hang on a second. I need to get my bird to be quiet." Sorry about that. Anyway, so rudely interrupted by the bird. Not necessary. So, anyway, we so I got the truck back, and we and they wrote me a check and they put it in the mail. So I got the check, I cashed it, and after that point, it dawned on me that I didn't have collision coverage on the truck. I had all the other coverages, but I declined collision coverage. So then a couple questions came to mind. And those were questions like, if I had collision coverage, or I said, did you guys consider this truck total because I didn't have collision coverage? And they said yes. And I said, okay, well, if I did have collision coverage, because at this point I had called them back and I was asking these questions, I said, if I did have collision coverage, would you have repaired this truck? And they said yes. At that point, it was another big sign to me that this truck was not totaled. Think about that. That's a big sign to me. And why is that? Because insurance companies go off of what the value of the truck is. They don't care about the sentimental stuff, which was a big factor for me. They go off of the value. And the fact that they said if I had collision coverage that they would have repaired this truck tells me two things. Number one, that value-wise it's worth repairing. And number two, that the only reason that they didn't repair it was because I didn't have collision coverage. So I started asking questions like, okay, so if I put collision coverage on there now, would you repair it? And they said no. And I said, okay, well, I've got other plans with you. Is there a way where we can work in one of those plans into you guys repairing this truck? And they said no. And I should actually rewind a little bit and say, before they wrote me the check, and once they told me it was a total loss, I said, well, I'm going to go repair this truck, so why don't you just keep the money, repair my truck, and I'll get the truck back and it'll be fine. Because that was the thing, is I wanted my truck back, not, I wasn't necessarily looking for the check. And they said, no, we weren't going to do that. And so at that point, that's when I got into the other questions about collision coverage. Sorry, I'm backtracking a little bit here. This is a while ago, and my memory's not very good. So, I keep looking outside because the weather's just getting really gloomy. Wow. Okay. I'm tired of seeing clouds. I mean, I've been seeing clouds for nothing but like the past 3 weeks. It's been really driving me nuts. I'm really tired of the clouds. So I kind of want them to go away. Anyway, so we had established that, and we had established all the coverage things, and basically it was up to me to repair it. And I figured, well, okay, let's go figure it out. So I take the truck to this body shop that the guy that said basically he wasn't interested in repairing it, but he said he would give me an appraisal. So I took it to him. I paid him like $400 or $500 and gave him like a couple days to repair it. Now I remember this day because I dropped it off on my birthday. I dropped it off at the shop on my birthday, and I didn't tell him this, but I walked out of the shop thinking, I hope to get better news. I hope to get good news. I really hope to get good news because this is my birthday, and the thing that would make an amazing birthday gift is to get good news. So I get the phone call from the body shop after when they're getting ready for me to pick it up, and they tell me that they can't get the price below $55,000 for repair. I'm sitting here thinking, holy shit. So I go back and forth with them a little bit, saying I found this website that offers wholesale prices. If I provided you the parts, would you guys repair the truck? And we went back and forth and discussed a couple things. And basically, it turns out that they were taking my money for the inspection, but they were not. They were racking up the bill basically so that they didn't have to repair the truck. Their information is below. I would not recommend them because, in my experience, they add money to the bill. And it's it's cushioned such that you can't justify repairing the truck, and so they're lying to you. That's what it is. This is just one of my many bad experiences with auto shops, and so this is why, for now, I'm going off of a thing where I put where everyone has to sign into me working with them if I've never worked with them before. Just for my own protection. So, I take the truck back. Now, at this point, I call the guy that turns out to be a really good friend of mine that's been towing the truck around forever. And he's been he picked up the truck from the storage lot or from the body shop. And he first looked at the truck and he's like, "Holy crap!" So we brought it back to my house and we started talking. He's a really nice guy. I'll put their information down below in the description so you guys can check them out. They're really cool people. I really enjoy working with them. I'm not going to provide the driver's personal phone number because that's obviously personal information, and I don't want to give it out without his permission. But I have his personal phone number, and I just call him on his cell phone anytime I need his help. And so one day, we go one day, or maybe it was a couple days. I find this whole slew of body shops to take the truck to. This is after sitting on it for, I think, like 5 or 6 months and figuring out what do I want to do with the truck. And so we take it to this whole slew of body shops to have them inspected. And every single one of them said no. One of them even basically told me to bring it down, and this day alone was about a $700 tow truck fee day. And that was with a discount that he applied. So it was a very expensive day. And so so we brought the truck around to a whole bunch of different body shops, and they all looked at it. One in particular, though, told me to bring the truck in, and they would look at it. And this was a Mazda dealership with like a collision center that worked on all makes and models. And I told him what happened, and he said, "Yeah, bring it in. We'll take a look at it." Okay, so I brought it in, and so I go into the lobby and I fill out the paperwork and I set it back on the desk and I sit down and all of a sudden I get a text or a call from the driver saying that the truck was here. So I left and I went to go up and see it, and this older guy, this big guy, was walking around or driving around the truck with his little golf cart while it's on the back of the tow truck, and it's on a flatbed tow truck for what it's worth. And so it's on the back of a flatbed tow truck, and and this guy, he walks around it, and then he just stops and stares at the part where the missing wheel is and the majority of the damage is. He just stands there, looking at it, going. Then he starts making up a bunch of crap. And he says, all the seats need to be replaced, and all the body panels need to be replaced, and the frame needs to be replaced, and he's going through all this crap. Now, 90% of what that truck has didn't need to be replaced. There's a reason that my dad and I call it the F-150, because if you split it down in half, it's really only the passenger side that needs the work done. So, half of a truck, F-150, half of 150. Anyway, so he's making up a bunch of bullshit about this. Anyways, he's sitting there staring at it and going, "This is going to be a really expensive job," and no way. And I said, you told me, or one of your guys told me to bring this truck in here so you guys could inspect it. You've spent 10 seconds looking at this truck. You really mean to tell me that in 10 seconds you've made the evaluation, you're not going to do it? He's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to touch it." I'm like, wow, okay. And so I'm pretty fuming mad. Now, the thing that's also worth mentioning is that the guy that does the tow truck driving for me is his dad used to be a body shop guy, and his dad, as a body shop guy, would repair all sorts of wrecked vehicles. And so when my friend that's a tow truck driver was able to see the fact that this truck was repairable, and he kept telling me it's definitely repairable, and he said I'd even bring it to my dad if he didn't hurt his back and was getting out of the industry because of it. But he could even see it was repairable. I knew it was repairable. He knew it was repairable. It was clear as day that this truck was repairable. And so part of the point of the video, I'll get into it in a second, that is the one of the wrecked vehicle, of the wrecked truck, is to show that it's repairable. And I wanted to get opinions. And I also used it as a source to send out to people. So when I contacted a body shop, instead of sending half dozen pictures in an email, I could just send them a YouTube link, and if they wanted some specific pictures, I could send it. But it was a lot easier than sending it was just a lot easier to do. So I digress. I sent the pictures to him. So we brought the truck there, and that was at the end of our day anyways. And so after he made the determination not to repair it, he I basically told my driver and my friend, I said, look, just take it back to my house. I felt bad for him because now he's just driving around aimlessly all day because none of these body shops are willing to spend any time with it. It really pissed me off. I really felt bad for him. But I said, just take it back to my house and I'll meet you there. So I walked back into the lobby and I looked at the guy sitting in the lobby and I said, and I took the piece of paper that I had filled out before out of the clipboard and I tore it apart and I said, you told me to bring my truck down here. Your guy spent 10 seconds looking at it, and I've spent $700 on tow truck fees to bring it here. I don't find that very funny. I said, don't ever do that again. Okay, don't lie to me again. And this guy had the big hockey puck eyes, and he got the point. And then some other guy walked in afterwards, and you could tell by the tone in his voice he was embarrassed. He could tell that I was not happy. So I went home and unloaded the tow truck. Paid $700 something that day for the tow truck. Now my friend gave me a discount, so keep that in mind. It was not a cheap day for tow trucks, for the tow truck, driving all day. And again, I feel bad for him because he's sitting here driving all day with no purpose. I guess it's easier for him because he doesn't have to unload it and reload it. Someone can look at the truck while it's on the back of the tow truck. So I guess in that sense it's easier for him, but I feel bad for him that he was just driving around all day. So we get back, we're chatting, we're having a good time, and I really enjoy working with him. So I kept working with him ever since. Well, I log on to this website to make a review of the place that I mentioned that spent 10 seconds looking at the truck. Turns out, not only do they have a 1-star review on average for Yelp, but they actually have people on there saying that they've had their reviews deleted by this shop. I said, wow. Okay, so they've worked really hard to earn that 1-star review, and they are now deleting reviews that are negative. Funny. And so I posted a review, and at the very bottom of the review, I said, in fact, let me see if I can load it up here real quick here. Wow, okay, so now they're up to a 4-star review. Maybe they learned something. Okay, so I will read you my review. This was on February 5th of 2014. One person even said it was funny. Look at that. It says, what a useless group of people. I told them before I brought my truck that it was in rough shape, and they said they would still look at it. They said they would give it due time, and they said they would give it due time. Ha! Does visually scanning the surface for 10 seconds justify the $800? Okay, so it was $800. Does it justify the $800 in tow truck fees that I paid for that day? The incompetent fool that looked it over said every panel needs replacing, the roof needs replacing, the chassis needs replacing, and all the seats need replacing because one seat airbag pops, so suddenly all of the airbags in the seats make the seats need to be replaced. Are you kidding me? You get better service in a Turkish prison. This is ludicrous. And I rated them 1 star, by the way. Now I know why their Yelp reviews are so bleak. They deserve 0 stars. I was never planning on buying, in this case it was a Mazda dealership, a Mazda, and I was hesitant to take my truck, an F-150 that said they'd be able to work on my Ford, to a dealer, especially one with so poor reviews, and it turns out I was right to be hesitant. I will never do any business with this dealer or their body shop. I should really make them pay for the tow truck as well. Rotten service. Avoid this place like you would avoid the plague. And said, and to this collision repair center, some people on Yelp are reporting you deleting their reviews. I dare you to delete mine. What a bunch of spineless cowards you all are. So, as you can probably tell, and I said that's all at the end. So as you could tell, I was not happy, and I was not hiding the fact that I was not happy. These people are seriously the worst, and I'm not going to disclose their name, because actually I probably could, but I'm surprised that they've got the reviews they do. I mean, I guess maybe they learned something, but, so, anyway, I got the truck back from them, and turns out if I was digging through stuff, losing hope that the truck would ever be repaired, unless I did the repair myself, And I don't know how to do any welding or anything. It's something I want to learn how to do, but I don't do that. So a lot of the stuff that needed welding, I was like, this sucks. So I figured, okay, well, I'm gonna take the truck up here to Montana, and I'll just eventually repair it as time goes on. Well, I was digging through stuff, organizing stuff in the garage, getting stuff ready to sell or donate, and I come across this business card for a body shop. And this is the second body shop I've contacted that actually was willing to look at this truck and consider it, and they saw the YouTube video and they were interested, but the first body shop didn't even come up to my house. They lied to me. They made up a bunch of excuses. I said, screw it. So I saw this business card, and it was for the body shop that actually has it now. And I looked on the side, and it said Heavy Collision Specialists. And at this point, a light goes off in my head, and I go, maybe these are the people to take it to. I think I got this business card originally for when I was looking for body shops with the Mustang. And this was a number of years ago. And so I saw this card, and I'm like, maybe these are the people. I was getting really excited. So I contacted them, and as it turns out, the guy came up, he brought his dog up. He was a really cool guy. But he looked at the truck, and he said, yeah, I definitely see this being repairable. I've seen much worse than this. I've worked on a lot worse than this, and my guys have been bugging me to do a job like this. Well, again, as it turns out, they were the ones that ended up doing the work. So, long story short, that's how the truck came to be. Again, like I mentioned, the purpose of the YouTube video, definitely the purpose of the YouTube video you guys see on there now was definitely in part due to the fact that I wanted to get your opinions. Part of my thought process behind that was if I could get enough people. Sorry, I'm cleaning up the screen. There's a scratch on here. I'm gonna see if it's a scratch or a mark. Part of my thought process was if I can get enough people on YouTube to agree that this truck was repairable, I could use that as sort of proof, if you will, to other body shops that wanted to decline its repairability. So I was curious of your guys' opinions, and then again, also I was trying to use it to prove a point. It was also easier to send that information, send a YouTube link rather than 15 pictures on an email. So, anyways, all that what goes together. That's the story behind the truck, the accident, how it is where it is today. I was down there, I think early April this year. It's making tremendous progress. I wish I took some pictures of it, but I'm very impressed. And if I can get permission from them, I will release all that information so you guys can go there. But these guys are just amazing. I'm incredibly impressed with their work, and I look forward to getting the truck back. And once I get it back, I will. So the truck is going to go through a couple different things when I get it back. First of all, it's going to go through. Obviously, I'm going to inspect it. I'm going to have a friend probably inspect it. I'm going to have another body shop that was willing to do the work, but was going to charge OEM prices. All of that, so they were charging a lot more. But they do free inspections, and so I'm going to have myself inspected. I'm going to have another couple family members inspect it. Obviously, I'm hoping the body shop inspects it, and then I'm going to take it to a body shop, and I want them to inspect it from a body shop's perspective. How did the body work and the structural stuff, the stuff that the body shop repairs. How did that turn out in their opinion? What's their opinion of it? I'm going to have them do their inspection of it. It's a third party shop. They've offered to do it, but it's completely completely unrelated in the sense that they didn't do the work. So I'm going to have them do it, and then I'm going to have another shop down in that area do an extremely thorough inspection of it, look every nook and cranny over of that truck and make sure that it is in fact a safe truck. They're just a regular mechanical repair shop. Have them do road tests on it, maybe even have them take it home for a couple days. These people I trust immensely, this auto shop. And so, I'll have them do a very thorough inspection of it and make sure that it is 100% safe, like it was before the accident. And then after that's done, we're going to yank the engine and trans out of there and then do also some work like replace the wheel bearings, brakes, stuff like that just go bad over time. And especially after a collision like this, you want to just make sure that stuff is new and fresh. because you don't know what sort of angles the things are cockeyed at. So we're going to yank the engine and trans out of there. I'm going to send both of those to overhaul shops. I'm going to have them take it apart, clean it, inspect it, make sure no branches or debris or anything got in there. I'm pretty sure that there are some stuff in there. I thought I saw some stuff, as well as the fact that there are some open holes in there now. It just makes sense to replace it. The valve covers got battery acid all over them. They need to be replaced. So I'm going to have them inspect it, and since they're going to do that, might as well put new gaskets and stuff in there. It just kind of makes sense. I mean, you're paying for all the labor. $200, $300 set of gaskets is not really a deal breaker, So that's that. Transmission, again, just because of the impact, and you can watch some of these NHSTA videos, the crash test videos, and you can see exactly what happens to these vehicles when they get into a crash. So I'm going to have them inspect everything. Just make sure it's safe and make sure that it's ready for service again, and that it's not going to give me in trouble down the road. Then, after all of that's done, we'll go through the break-in period while it's in San Diego. And if everything goes according to plan, I'll drive it up here. Now, the cool thing is, three of my four vehicles, the F-150 is the only one that's not up here, are up here. So I don't have to tow anything up here. Now, I enjoy towing. I know it sounds really weird. Who doesn't like driving but likes towing? Maybe you should become a truck driver. I don't really have an interest in driving semi-trucks. I really enjoy towing, though. But after doing all the towing I did recently, it'll be nice just to be able to gun it and hit it on some of these 80, 90 mile per hour highways and get here really quickly. So, anyways, that was the idea. So, we'll see. But that's the story. That's what happened. And, yeah. Oh, wow, there's a Green Hornet or something out there. You can hear him hit the window. Is the wind getting pretty violent? No, not yet. I'm looking at some of the trees. Over there. But, anyways, back on topic. Again, thank you guys, everyone, for watching. Thank you for the support and for your comments. Everything is, I guess everything's going well so far, and it is now hitting the 5 o'clock hour. My time just hit that 5 o'clock in 2 seconds, p.m. And so, yeah, I don't really have anything else to say, but again, thank you guys very much, and let me know if you have questions or comments, post them down below. Like I said, some of the information was personal, so I didn't release everything, but I gave you guys most of the story. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Sorry about the light here. My even though it's a really cloudy, nasty day, the sun's, I guess, coming through, and so this is kind of the best light. Oh, there we go. It's better. But there you go. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I guess I'll talk to you guys later. Have a good one. See ya.